For me at the time, it was a normal, but looking at my children, that is not. But I think that's why I have such a fascination with abandoned places. Before I knew it was even urban exploring, I already had been doing it. My urban exploring activities, there's two parts, right? And one is when I was 8, because in England, we all played in abandoned houses. And then I didn't realize that until my daughter said, "Mom, you gotta tell them." And I went, "Oh my gosh, yeah." So as a kid, we just played in abandoned places. That was what we did. We had lots of Victorian, really old buildings. And some of them were deserted, some of them were bombed, some of them were just empty. So as kids, we used to ride around on our bikes and then we used to go and play in them. A lot of the Victorian houses would be 4 stories. You'd have the maids on the bottom, and then the further you go up, you go to the attic. We used to have war games. So we used to love running up and down, play in the cellars, climb through the coal hole. We used to find so many wonderful artifacts, shooting potato guns at each other, stuff like that. It was just really fun, really fun. This was our playground. This is what we did. Urban decay affects the whole community, but not here, because Hong Kong is a little bit different. If you go to America, where whole industries are abandoned, the whole community suffers, because people can see these places. But the thing about Hong Kong is people cannot see these abandoned places. They can't, they're hidden. Everyone's running around doing their own thing, so they're actually not really paying attention. In Japan, urban decay is a little bit different again, because it's all about abandoned buildings. And the reason they have abandoned buildings in Japan, for example, is because of the inheritance tax. Why do they have abandoned places in Hong Kong? Why do they? It's very intriguing. So a lot of the cases could be for what they thought is a better life. I think a lot of those people decided to leave their belongings here with the hope, or not hope, of maybe returning. So this is why urban exploring in Hong Kong is so fascinating. Because if you go to Europe, a lot of the places there are 400, 300 years old. So there's nothing left. You just got the bare bones. But in Hong Kong, you have all the personal items. You get love letters, you get photographs, you get a really exciting array of nostalgia, right? Sometimes there's family recipes, there's people's old passports, there's everything. Without a bit of fun and naughtiness, life would be very dull. I love to have galleries in abandoned houses. All of your senses are coming alive. I try not to write too much about the image. The dressing table in my Alice in Wonderland image, I can, just by looking at it, I can smell my grandmother's perfume. This is in Hong Kong, but my grandmother used to have this dressing table, so I can really connect with that. Another person will say, "I remember that little hole. We used to play here. There was the altar," or lots of little architectural nuances and details. And one person said to me, she said, "That Jif bottle is like a really old one. I don't even think it was called Jif. It was called something else, lemon sift or Jif or whatever." She said they stopped making that in the 1970s or something. But even the cleaning products, people look up. And that's why I always hesitate to tell people about my artwork, because then I'll be biased and you'll be biased. "Oh, Sacha told me it's about this, but I can't really see that." I want people to look at it and go, ah. Some people will go, "Why would you want an image of an abandoned room in your house?" It's actually not just an image, it's a vortex. You can actually step inside. But it's an exhilarating event, because people really come alive. They're seeing the art in a completely different context. But I will be at the Affordable Art Fair, as we know, and we are doing something special, which I cannot tell you. We want to make it as real as we can. If you think about it, if you don't push the boundaries, what's the point?